Well, I think about it a lot, and I mean, I'll just be honest. I haven't been the way I want to be this year. Kind of like the expectation I have on myself, the franchise have on myself, or have on me. So
Elias Pettersson just ended the silence that kept fans and teams on edge. Everything changed for the Vancouver Canucks. Their star player, Elias Pettersson, didn't stay quiet. With trade rumors spreading fast, he finally spoke. Not in hints, not in secret. He said exactly how he feels. His words shook up the hockey world, and the timing couldn't be more serious. What Pettersson just said now controls everything that comes next.
Let's start with Elias Pettersson. July 1, that no-move clause kicks in. Is there a scenario, a realistic one for Honlalji, where Jimmy Rutherford and Patrick Allvin go full-on nuclear and just blow this thing up and trade Pettersson before the deadline?
I'd be surprised, and I know that his name has come up in trade conversation. I think there were times when it was serious, going back to last year's deadline, and at times this offseason.
Elias Pettersson is one of the top players on the Vancouver Canucks. He has played 5 full seasons with the team. He signed a new contract worth $92.8 million for 8 years. On July 1st, 2025, a new part of that contract started. It's called a no-move clause. That means he can't be traded without saying yes first. Now, if any team wants him, he has to agree to the trade. Just before July 1st, other NHL teams started calling the Canucks. Once that date passed, they knew it would be harder. Sports reporters said 5 teams were calling. One of them was the Minnesota Wild. Another one was Buffalo. Some even talked about Carolina. People were saying this was the last chance to trade him. Canucks fans were confused. Why would the team trade one of their best players? The answer was about team changes and money. Pettersson had a drop in points last season. In 64 games, he scored 45 points. The season before that, he had 102 points. That's a big change. The team also missed the playoffs. They had to decide what kind of team they want to be next. His agent, J.P. Barry, spoke out first. He went on a sports talk show in April. He said, "Not really surprised, it's a business." That was the first real comment from Pettersson's side. It meant they knew trade talks were happening, and they didn't try to stop them right away. Then Pettersson finally talked about it. He did an interview with a Swedish hockey website. He said he liked playing in Canada. He said Vancouver was a great place to play. He also said the playoffs were incredibly cool. These words showed he wasn't angry, but they didn't clearly say if he wanted to stay or go. Before all this, there were problems in the locker room. In February, the Canucks traded JT Miller to the New York Rangers. That surprised a lot of people. There were reports that Pettersson and Miller didn't get along. After the trade, Pettersson said, "Big blow, we lost JT. We lose a skillful power forward. All we can do now is look forward and wish him the best." It was short and calm, but it told people there had been tension. Now the focus is all on Pettersson. Because of the no-move clause, the team can't trade him unless he says it's okay. Other teams like Buffalo, Columbus, and Carolina might still want him, but they can't make a deal without his answer. One NHL reporter, Elliot Friedman, said there was a time when it looked like Pettersson would be going to Carolina, but the deal didn't happen. That made people ask why. Some thought Vancouver still wanted to keep him. Others said Pettersson didn't want the trade. His career numbers show why teams want him. He has 185 goals and 457 points in 471 NHL games. That's almost 1 point per game. That kind of scoring is hard to find. Even in a tough season, he was still one of Vancouver's best players. The Canucks said they aren't trying to trade him, but they also didn't say no to the calls. One insider said the team might trade him only if it helps fix their center problem. That means they want another strong center in return. Vancouver's general manager, Patrick Allvin, said before that anything is possible. That doesn't sound like someone who is 100% sure about keeping a player. But he also said Pettersson is a big part of the team. Now that July 1st has passed, everything is harder. The no-move clause means Vancouver can't control the trade talks anymore. They can only listen to offers and then ask Pettersson what he wants. This is a big deal in the NHL. Most players don't get no-move clauses unless they are top stars. Pettersson earned that with his play over the years. Now he's using it. Some fans thought the Canucks were sending mixed signals. On one hand, they talked about building around him. On the other hand, they kept talking to other teams. That made the rumors louder. There were also money questions. His new contract is one of the biggest in team history. If the team wants to make other big changes, they might need more cap space. Trading Pettersson would clear $11.6 million per season, but Pettersson's agent said clearly, it's a business. That means they understand teams will always make moves, but it also means Pettersson knows how to use the rules in his contract. So where does this leave the Canucks? The answer is simple. They can't do anything unless Pettersson says yes. Other teams can still try, but now it's all in his hands. His recent words in Swedish media showed he still likes Vancouver. But he didn't give a strong answer either way. He didn't say, I'm staying forever, and he didn't say, I want to leave. One hockey site said trade talks got more complicated after the no-move clause. That's because every team now has to wait. They can't plan unless they know what Pettersson wants. This is why what he said matters. He broke the silence. He didn't shout. He didn't complain. But he said enough to change the story. The NHL world is now waiting. Will he stay in Vancouver for all 8 years? Or will he approve a trade? His words didn't give the full answer, but they gave enough to shock fans, reporters, and other teams. Everything now depends on one player, Elias Pettersson.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes. But there's no rush.
Connor McDavid told reporters he wasn't in a rush to talk contracts. Now, weeks later, there's been nothing. With the team in off-season limbo and big names signing elsewhere, McDavid's silence now speaks louder than ever. The Oilers are waiting. The fans are waiting. But the captain still isn't saying anything. McDavid's silence is now a problem. And this silence could change everything for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He is one of the best hockey players in the world. McDavid has played his whole NHL career in Edmonton since the team picked him first in the 2015 NHL Draft. His current contract is an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That deal ends in July 2026. Right now, McDavid still has 1 year left on that contract. He will be allowed to sign a new deal starting on July 1st, 2025. If he does not sign, he becomes a free agent in 2026. That means any team in the league could offer him a deal. But so far, McDavid has not said if he will stay or leave. After the Oilers lost in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers, reporters asked McDavid about his future. He answered, "It's only been a couple days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup, but there's no rush on anything like that." He also said, "If I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That was the last time he spoke about it. McDavid's numbers this season were very strong. He had 74 assists in the regular season. He scored 33 points in 22 playoff games. He had 7 goals and 26 assists. His teammate Leon Draisaitl had the same playoff point total, but McDavid still hasn't said what he will do about his contract. The fans don't know. The team doesn't know. Other NHL teams are now watching closely. Stan Bowman is the general manager of the Oilers. He said, "He's the best player in the league, most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader." Bowman said the team's #1 priority is to keep McDavid. He also said the contract talks will happen when McDavid is ready. But NHL free agency is already moving fast. Teams are signing players. The Oilers have to make choices about who to keep, who to sign, and how to build next season's team. But without knowing what McDavid wants, the team can't plan fully. That has caused a problem. If McDavid leaves, it could be a very big problem. The Oilers have made the playoffs 6 years in a row. They made the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row, but they lost both times. Some sports writers are saying McDavid might not want to wait much longer. If he doesn't think the team can win soon, he could decide to go somewhere else. Leon Draisaitl, McDavid's teammate and top scorer, signed a new deal last year. That deal is for 8 years and $112 million. If McDavid stays, he will likely make even more. Some reports say McDavid could become the highest paid player in the league, but that would mean the team has less money to spend on other players. If McDavid stays quiet much longer, the Oilers could be forced to trade him. They won't want to lose him in free agency for nothing. That's why some experts are saying the team needs to know soon. One article said McDavid's silence is wrecking the Oilers' free agency plans. Jeff Jackson is the CEO of the Oilers. He also used to be McDavid's agent. He said the next season will help decide everything. The team will wait, but not forever. Other teams, like the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers, are already being mentioned as possible new homes for McDavid. Right now, every NHL team is watching. If McDavid doesn't say anything by the start of the season, the rumors will grow. Teams will begin making offers. Fans will keep asking questions. Even McDavid's teammates might start to worry. The Oilers had a record of 48 wins, 29 losses, and 5 overtime losses this past season. That was good enough to make the playoffs. They went all the way to the finals, but lost to the Panthers in 6 games. McDavid led the team in assists and was one of the top playoff performers in the entire league. But now all of that is in the past. The team needs to know what comes next. Free agents are being signed by other teams. The Oilers can't wait forever. And yet, McDavid says nothing. The pressure is building.
You know, I know people are going to look at that July 1 day and be looking to see if there's anything done. But for me, I'm just not in a rush that way.
Something big is coming to hockey, and it's not just about one team. On July 1st, Connor McDavid will make a move no one saw coming. That move could change how the best players in the league get paid. It will break a rule that stars have followed for years. What happens next may change the NHL forever.
You know, winning would be it's the most important thing. If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem.
Connor McDavid is one of the best hockey players in the world. He plays for the Edmonton Oilers. He has scored more than 100 points in many seasons. He has won the MVP award 3 times. He led the Oilers to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. But on July 1st, the big story won't be about goals or assists. It will be about money, contracts, and something much bigger. McDavid signed his last contract in 2017. It was an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That means he has been making $12.5 million every year. This deal ends in 2026. But NHL rules say a player can start talking about a new contract 2 years before the old one ends. So on July 1st, 2025, McDavid will be allowed to sign a new deal. Most top players sign the longest deal possible. That's usually 8 years. It gives them more safety and helps the team plan for a long time. But this time, McDavid is expected to do something very different. Reporters say that McDavid might not want a long contract. Instead, he could ask for a shorter one, maybe just 4 years. Some people even say he could sign for only 2 or 3 years. This is something very few superstars have done. Why would McDavid want a short deal? The answer is the salary cap. The salary cap is the most money a team can spend on its players. This year, the cap is $88 million. Next year, it will go up to $97 million. In a few years, it might go even higher. If McDavid signs a short contract now, he can sign another one later when the cap is much bigger. That means he could make even more money. Other players have done this. Auston Matthews signed a 5-year deal in 2019. In 2023, he signed a 4-year deal. Leon Draisaitl just signed an 8-year deal for $112 million. But McDavid might want something shorter than all of them. Connor McDavid hasn't said much about his plans, but he did say this to NHL.com after the season. "I'm not in a rush to make any decision. He also said, "I need to do what's best for me and my family." These are clues that he is thinking very carefully. The Edmonton Oilers also know what's happening. Their new general manager, Stan Bowman, says he wants to keep McDavid. But McDavid said something important. He said, "If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That means he wants to be sure the team can keep winning. If McDavid signs a short deal, he will be a free agent again in 2029 or 2030. That means other teams will have a chance to try and sign him. Teams like the Maple Leafs, Panthers, Kings, and Flyers might all be watching. If McDavid becomes a free agent, they might try to get him. Experts are saying this could change how NHL contracts work. Sports writer Pierre LeBrun said, "There's a good chance McDavid will sign a shorter deal instead of an 8-year max one." ESPN's Greg Wyshynski said, "It's not just about money, it's about power and timing." Connor McDavid had another amazing season. In 2024 to 2025, he scored 100 points in 67 games. In the playoffs, he scored 33 points in 22 games. That was the most in the league. He was named playoff MVP, even though the Oilers lost in the finals. Because of his great numbers, McDavid is more valuable than ever. If he signs a short deal, he can sign again in a few years for a lot more money. Some people believe he could make over $18 million per year in his next deal. That would be the highest ever in NHL history. This kind of deal gives the player more power. Usually teams like long contracts, but short deals let players choose more often. They can pick better teams or wait for the salary cap to go up. That's why this is such a big deal. Right now, McDavid has a $12.5 million cap hit. If he signs again soon, that number could go way up. If he waits, it might go even higher. And that's why this decision is so important. It affects not just him, but the whole NHL. Some reporters say McDavid may take a deal with only 2 or 3 years. That would give him the chance to test the market again very soon. And if he wins a Stanley Cup in that time, he could leave Edmonton as a free agent and pick any team he wants. Connor McDavid's next contract could change everything. It might change how young players sign their first big deals. It might change how teams plan their future. And it might change how much money top stars can make. This is why so many people are watching July 1st. That's the day McDavid is allowed to start contract talks. If he signs a short deal, other players may copy him. That could mean big changes in the NHL's old contract system. And if McDavid does leave Edmonton in a few years, it could be one of the biggest moves in NHL history. Teams will spend a lot of money to get a player like him. But right now, the Oilers still have a chance to keep him. Whether he signs for 2 years, 4 years, or 8 years, McDavid is changing the game, not just on the ice, but at the contract table. He didn't need to say a lot. Just by thinking about a short deal, he has already made waves across the NHL. On July 1st, the hockey world will be watching because what Connor McDavid chooses to do next might change everything.